If you've been researching the national interest waiver recently, you may have noticed something alarming. Some people say approvals are getting harder. Others say strong cases are still getting approved, and many applicants are seeing completely mixed outcomes. The truth is, the NIW is still a very powerful immigration option, but the way these cases have been evaluated today is not exactly the same as it was a few years ago. In this video, I want to explain what is actually happening with NIW adjudications right now and how to think strategically about risk, timing, and whether this is the right moment to file your case. Many applicants are hearing that NIW approvals are down or becoming harder. They are seeing inconsistent stories online. Some strong applicants are being approved while others are receiving RFEs or even denials. This creates confusion, especially for professionals trying to decide whether to invest time and money in a case. This is not about fear, it's about understanding the environment accurately so people can make better decisions. To understand what is happening now, it helps to look at how NIW adjudications have changed over the last few years. In 2022, NIWs became much more possible, especially for STEM professionals. That period saw very strong approval momentum. As more people learned about the category, filings increased significantly. And over time, more borderline cases were self-filed and also entered the system. By 2024, we began seeing more RFEs, including cases that looked genuinely strong. By 2025, adjudication felt tighter and less predictable. We saw an updated policy guidance that put the brakes on many NIW petitions. More decisions appeared more templated, less individualized, and in some cases, less precise in how they describe the applicant's work or proposed endeavor. What I started to see was not just stricter adjudication in weak cases, I also started seeing more pushback in cases that, in my view, were genuinely strong and well supported. And that is where the conversation changed. The NIW is discretionary. Part of the analysis is legal and structured, but part of it also depends on how the officer interprets national importance, the proposed endeavor, whether the applicant is well positioned, whether the waiver is beneficial on balance. In today's environment, some cases appear to receive deeper analysis, while others seem to be evaluated more narrowly. And that creates a feeling of inconsistency, especially in industry professional cases. The challenge is not that the NIW framework disappeared. The challenge is that in the discretionary adjudication, the same type of case can be interpreted differently depending on how clearly it is framed and how the officer approaches the analysis. Researchers and scientists are often still among the strongest NIW candidates. Their work more nationally aligns with the NIW framework. Their broader impact to the field is often easier to document. Objective evidence is often easier to show. This does not mean every researcher automatically has a strong case. It also does not mean that every industry professional cannot qualify. It means some profiles fit the current adjudication logic more naturally than others. Many people think, I have an advanced degree, I have years of professional experience, I work in an important field, and therefore, I qualify for an NIW. But those facts may establish the EB2 classification. They do not automatically establish a strong NIW. The real question is, what is your proposed endeavor? Does it have substantial merit and national importance? Are you well positioned to advance it? Is the waiver justified on balance? One of the biggest strategy mistakes I see is when someone assumes their degree, title, or occupation is the same thing as their NIW case. It's not. The NIW depends on the endeavor, the broader impact, and the evidence supporting that story. Industry professional cases are often harder when the record only shows impact inside the employer. If the case is framed as, I work as an engineer, I'm a software developer, I'm an accountant, that's usually too narrow and strictly connected to your occupation. USCIS is looking for a broader proposed endeavor and broader public or field level value. The more the case looks tied to only one employer's business interest, the harder it may be to show national importance. This is why two people with similar resumes can have very different outcomes. It is not just about credentials, it is about whether the case shows broader impact beyond your ordinary employment. Now, here are some questions that you should be asking yourself. Do I need to file now for a practical reason? Is my proposed endeavor clearly defined? Do I have evidence of impact beyond my employer? Does my profile fit the current NIW environment more naturally? Would waiting 6 to 12 months allow me to strengthen my case materially? Not everyone should rush to file. For some people, filing now makes sense because they need forward movement in their immigration strategy. For others, waiting and strengthening the record may be the smarter move. The question is not just, can I file? The real question is this the right moment to file this case in the strongest possible way? If you're trying to decide whether your NIW case is strong enough to file now, or whether you'd be better served by waiting and strengthening the record first, you can request a free case evaluation using the link right below. My team and I look at your background, your proposed endeavor, and the current adjudication environment to help you determine the most strategic next step. NIWs are still very valuable. The category is not gone. Approvals still happen, but the environment is less forgiving than it was a few years ago. Today, success depends even more on whether it's a fit, evidence, framing, and timing. And of course, strategic legal preparation of your case. The national interest waiver is still one of the most powerful immigration options available to highly skilled professionals who want to pursue permanent residency without an employer sponsoring them. But in today's adjudication environment, success depends less on your job title or your degree, and much more on how clearly and strategically your case is presented. One of the most common problems we're seeing right now is that applicants describe their proposed endeavor in a way that USCIS considers too broad or too vague. So if you want to understand how that happens and how strong applicants end up receiving RFEs or denials because of it, watch the next video where I explain why vague proposed endeavors are causing NIW denials and how to avoid that mistake when preparing your case. I'll see you there.